What are some key differences between a dismissive avoidant and a fearful avoidant, which is also called disorganized attachment style? A lot of people, when I'm talking to them about their breakups, get these two mixed up, and you're going to be confused if you're getting these mixed up like most people do. So first of all, a lot of people mistake dismissive avoidance as fearful avoidance because in the early stage of their honeymoon phase, so the first 3 to 6 months of the relationship, the dismissive avoidant was coming after the ex really hard. They were like 0 to 100. They wanted to talk about marriage, kids, family, the future, have you meet their parents, blah blah blah, all the stuff over the first 6 months. And so for that reason, your brain goes, oh, well, they were emotionally available and they were chasing me and now they're avoidant. So they must be fearful avoidant because they go on both ends of the spectrum. What's actually happening in a case like this is that the dismissive avoidant eats up the validation in the honeymoon phase, and the feel-good chemicals are causing them to forget about all their fears about the relationship. And so they use that experience as an escape from their feelings of not feeling good enough, etc. And then all of a sudden, once the honeymoon phase ends, they back off entirely as they start to have all these fears about the relationship, which comes from their childhood neglect and all these other things. And so what seems like this, opposite end of the poles kind of thing, like you would expect from a fearful avoidant, is actually a dismissive avoidant that's being chemically excited over 6 months and then totally flips for the remaining portion of the relationship where you're chasing them. And from that point on, that's when you see their dismissive avoidant colors. The real way that you can tell the difference between a dismissive avoidant and a fearful avoidant is how do they act in conflict? Because their core wound, which is what distinguishes one attachment style from the other, is going to come out. It's going to get protected in conflict as that person sort of has certain defensive behaviors around their core wound. So typically a fearful avoidant is going to either fight, and they're going to try to get to the bottom of things and get all spicy and stuff, or they're going to leave the room if that other person is more of a fighter than them. A dismissive avoidant might initially fight for a second because they get defensive because their core wound of feeling not good enough. But ultimately, they're going to shut down or they're going to leave the room, run away, because they don't have the same bandwidth to fight as a fearful avoidant does. A dismissive avoidant was emotionally neglected in their childhood, so for that reason, they just don't have it in them to really go toe-to-toe. But a fearful avoidant can go toe-to-toe all night long. Why? Because they have trust issues. They've been hurt in the past. So they're trying to make sure that they feel safe by feeling seen, heard, understood. They want to be tight. They're much more, they're seeking for that emotional unity, whereas a dismissive one, it wants to keep it on the outskirts because they feel broken. They don't want you to see their broken nature. So don't get it twisted. A lot of people do get their dismissive avoidant ex twisted as a fearful avoidant. It's not necessarily the case. If you have a fearful avoidant ex, you're going to know it because they won't let you forget about what you did wrong. They send you walls of text. They're really spicy, and they're going to be a lot more combative in conflict. And if you want help figure out your ex's attachment style, don't take the quiz. Those things really aren't that good. If you want help, click into my profile, click this link right here, set up a call with me. And I want to hear your whole story about your breakup. And I'll give you a step-by-step plan exactly how to get your ex back, also based upon their attachment style.